Welcome back to my channel. This video is part 2 of my sign by sign outlook for this climax week we have, moving from the 28th of July through this whole, or the 28th of June through this whole week. If you guys like my videos, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I forgot to say that on my last one, but let's get into the signs. I am looking at Libra through Pisces for this video, so let's get into it. All right, and also I should say that I am looking specifically at where the T-square for this week is going to be activating in your chart for each of the signs. For all of us collectively this week, there is going to be some type of pressure building up that is really causing us to want to make some drastic, impulsive changes. And we really kind of want to look at where this is happening in each of our charts, the changes that it's trying to get us to make, and what we kind of want to watch out for this week in terms of this really heated energy that we might be feeling that might be causing us to just kind of want to break free, break away, but we want to be careful because of the way that the activations are set up right now. If it's not something that has really been needing to happen, this is probably not the time because of Saturn being involved, wanting us to take our time, strategize, plan any big changes that need to be made to whatever foundation we are reforming right now in order so that we can liberate ourselves in another area of life. We want to not be too impulsive and drastic and emotional and like spur of the moment about making changes and decisions this week out of passion, okay? Unless, like I said, they have been changes that have really been needing to go on for a long period of time. So let's get started. Let's talk about Libras. Okay, so for Libras, you guys have had Saturn transiting your 5th house for some time now, and Uranus has been transiting your 8th house. So that really means that for you guys, Libras, for a while now, you have been experiencing some kind of frustration or something that's been holding you back in terms of experiencing joy, in terms of enjoying like your genuine life, in terms of getting pleasure, having fun, engaging in play, being able to really authentically express yourself, be able to express your passions. You might be experiencing creative blocks. There might be something that's going on with your children that is making you feel limited and constricted in some type of way, or your children themselves maybe being limited and restricted in some type of a way, and this is creating a frustration for you. So these general themes with Saturn transiting the 5th house are probably things that you've been struggling with lately, because Saturn is really trying to get you to reform your foundation, the baseline of how you experience joy and pleasure in life, of what you think is fun, of how you do fun, of how you play, of how you authentically, genuinely express your personal self-expression, of how you create, of what you create, the quality of what you create. Really, Saturn wants to bring this up to another level so that it can take you in, it can create a firmer foundation, a more solid foundation to take you much further into the future in terms of how you're just generally experiencing joy and pleasure and creative self-expression in life. And with Uranus transiting your 8th house, this has probably been bringing up a lot of changes in regards to things relating to joint finances or joint like ventures, or also like deep complex intertwinements with other people, sort of undergoing major changes right now. Uranus is really trying to bring you to an authentic understanding of the deep, complex, and inner workings of your own personal psyche. With Uranus in the 8th house, this is really sort of like a death and rebirth in terms of your deepest ways of connecting with other people, and the deepest like recesses of your psyche and your subconscious mind really undergoing a massive reprogramming right now. And this is playing into these frustrations and how you experience joy in life. It's like you have all of these really deep, complex issues that are coming to the surface, and that you're reevaluating your like authentic connection with. And this is stifling your fun, your joy, your play, your ability to be carefree and to create and to just really express yourself the way that you want to, okay? So with Uranus in the 8th, this again, like this is really big shakeups and really trying to give you an awakening in terms of like the deepest intertwined connections with other people, the deepest aspects of your psyche, and really give you a rebirth, like I said, in terms of clearing your subconscious minds and your subconscious thought patterns and subconscious behavior patterns in a lot of ways, okay? That is what Libras generally have been dealing with, and the conflict that they've been sort of experiencing, the frustrations and why over this period of time. And now we have Mars for you Libras in this 11th house, transiting the 11th house. So, you know, this could make you feel like over this week, really quite like aggressive and angry towards your friends groups, your social networks, your associations, your organizations, other people, and just the groups and like I said, the organizations and the associations that you're a part of. You're going to want to watch drastically changing or taking action to drastically change any organization that you're a part of, any group that you're a part of, any social network, any long-standing group of friends that you've been involved in. You're really going to want to watch this week being too impulsive or too, like having too much passion or too much rage or too much anger or too much contention expressed towards these things, expressed towards these people, expressed towards these organizations, expressed towards these groups, or if you feel like they're like preventing you from reaching your goal or your wish or your dream in some type of way as well. The 11th house also rules hopes, wishes, and dreams. So you might just generally be experiencing some frustration or some anger or emotional issues bubbling up over your inability to express or to reach your goals or to do what you want, and you might feel like really angry towards these groups of people because you perceive them as playing a role in holding you back in some type of a way or another. So, you know, with Mars transiting your 11th house right now, unless you've really been needing to break away or needing to speak your mind or needing to, you know, exert some type of force over these groups of people or stand up for yourself in terms of these groups of people, or, you know, just kind of have like a fire lit under you in terms of operating with these organizations, with these friends group, with these social networks. If you've been needing to do that, then universe this week is probably going to put you into a scenario where you don't have a choice. But if this is just something that like out of the blue over this past couple, you know, days or like moving into this week, you're like, I cannot take these people anymore. I want nothing to do with this group. You know, I've been a part of it forever, but now I just want out. You're really going to kind of want to reevaluate why you're feeling like this way. Where is this feeling come from? What is the root of this aggression that you are feeling towards these people, and is it really the right thing to do to like come for them right now, basically, to you know, really attack them? Or you also on the flip side might feel like you're being attacked by them. With Mars transiting the 11th house, you also might feel like you're under attack by these groups, organizations, social affiliations, these types of things. Just some type of conflict, tension, and desire to passionately speak your mind, put on a show, be dramatic regarding these people, these outside influences that play a role in your ability, like that are like a part of who you are or who you've always associated with. So that is really kind of how this is breaking down for you guys Libras. You know, with Saturn in the 5th, Uranus in the 8th, you are going through a rebirth in terms of your deep inner workings of your psyche, and these are leading to restrictions in how you experience joy and pleasure, self-expression generally, and you're kind of pissed off at the other people that are, you know, that you've been a part of for a long period of time, and you really, you know, either them exerting some type of force or aggression on you, or you just having had it with them and kind of wanting to just, you know, cut ties. But again, you're going to want to hold back unless you get put into a position where you have no other choice, because this is something that you've been resisting or like hiding from doing for a while. So that's what I have for Libras, and that is how these energies are basically playing out for you guys. Now let's talk about Scorpio. Scorpio, you guys have Saturn transiting your 4th house, Uranus transiting your 7th house, and Mars transiting your 10th house. So for Scorpios, and this is another one of those fixed signs, the fixed sign ascendants, you guys are really going through the most with this activation because it's happening in fixed signs. So you guys are being highly activated. with Saturn in the 4th house for you Scorpios, there has been some type of restriction or limitation or frustration that's been going on in regards to your home, your family, your place of origin, your homeland, your roots, your parents, specifically the mother. Something limiting you, holding you back, feeling constrained in regards to your family situation, your home situation, your paternal, maternal situation, for some reason or another. And this is because Saturn is really trying to get you to reform the foundation of how you deal with this area of your life, how this area of your life functions for you, and is really trying to improve it, bring it up to a better level so that you can have a more fulfilling experience of motherhood, or more fulfilling experience in terms of your connection to your home or your homeland or the original people that you come from or your family. Some type of redefining of the foundation of these things going forward so that you can have a more fulfilling experience of this over the next 30 years while Saturn goes through this cycle. You have had Uranus transiting your 7th house. So this is major shakeups in relationships. Uranus is trying to bring you back into some type of authenticity in terms of the relationships that you're having, how you make relationships, how you do partnerships, how you deal with finances as well. And a lot of, uncertainty in relationships right now, shocking, surprising things happening with relationships breaking up, new relationships coming in, unexpected things completely. And it's really, with Saturn in the 4th house, this has to do with the family, with the home, with the mother, with, these type of relationships, okay? And with Uranus in the 7th house, really trying to liberate you from relationships that have not been particularly suiting you or in alignment with your authenticity or in the best interest for your soul's growth and expansion. And so Saturn is restricting you in your family, basically, because in relation to things surrounding the home, surrounding the family, because Uranus wants to change the foundation of how you do relationships. And some of our most fundamental relationships are with the family. So this is going through a whole overhaul with you guys right now, Scorpios, so that you can come into a more fulfilling experience and be more liberated to express yourself and be yourself in these deep connections with family going forward, okay? And you have Mars in the 10th house. So this means, you guys, Scorpios, you might be feeling very impulsive to change your career. You might have a lot of aggression towards authority figures, bosses, people that you perceive as being in charge of you in some type of way. Or your career, you might be really pissed off at work. Or also your public image, your public reputation, having to defend yourself, or being criticized somehow this week with Mars transiting through your 11th or through your 10th house. But you're going to want to be careful about taking impulsive action in regards, speaking your mind to bosses, to authority figures, in regards to your career, in regards to your public image. You're really going to want to, hold back and not be too dramatic or too over the top or too contentious or too aggressive in the way that you're communicating with these individuals, or that you're presenting yourself publicly, also the 10th house, because if it's not something that you've really been needing to do for a long period of time, and it's been very apparent to you that you've been needing to do these things for a long period of time, then this taking action, being overly aggressive, being angry, making conflict with these people, it probably is not going to have the anticipated outcome that you would like, of just freeing you from the situation and letting you go about your merry way to be, relieved of it. Unfortunately, because of the opposition to Saturn, there is a potential, if this is something that you have not been strategizing and planning out properly, and it's not something that has really been needing to happen, that it could have some type of unanticipated consequences far into the future, creating these trouble scenarios that you just really don't want to deal with. So while Mars is transiting your 10th house, but on the flip side, if you've been needing to ask for a raise, if you've been needing to ask for promotion, if you've been needing to have this conversation with your superiors, with an authority figure, and you've been planning it out for a very long period of time, and it's something that is, that needs to happen right now, then universe will put you in a situation where you really don't have a choice, because this is the time that it needs to happen and Uranus is involved. But again, if it's just something that is just like impulsive, something just came up today, somebody said something to me and I just snapped, I just can't anymore, and I have to speak my mind to this person about this thing, you're kind of going to want to, think about like what is really pushing you to feel that way, and really strategize, is this the best long-term decision for me, or should I just give it another couple weeks, let this contentious energy play out, and then think about how I'm going to go about doing it, and then as this energy wanes out, maybe think about taking action and doing those things, because that is going to have a better outcome than just sort of like abruptly saying what you have to say to your boss about something. No matter how right you might be, it just is likely, to potentially not go your way right now, because of all of the conflicting, intense, and unexpected energy that is just going on right now. So that's what I have for you guys, Scorpios. Things holding you back in the home, because you really need to be liberated in terms of how you're relating to other people, and you need to be doing it authentically. And Mars is really giving you a kick in terms of your public image, your reputation, your career, how you're presenting yourself, like I said, publicly, how you're dealing with bosses, authority figures, things like that. You're a lot of heated emotions in terms of these people, in terms of how you're presenting yourself. You don't want to get into any public fights. Also, Scorpios, you guys need to watch out for some type of public fights, public conflicts with this as well. Do not engage in any type of public confrontations with this, unless, like I said, you've been needing to do this for some reason for a very long period of time. Please stop ringing those bells. Please stop ringing those bells. That you've been needing to do this for a very long period of time, and for whatever reason something transpires, it puts you in a position that you literally have no choice, and this is your opportunity. If that's happening, it's Uranus working his magic and setting things up for things to be righted for you somehow. But again, if it's not something that you have thoroughly pondered, you're going to want to do that before you take action. Next, we have Sagittarius, ascendant in Sagittarius. For you guys, you have had Saturn transiting your 3rd house, you've had Uranus in your 6th house, and you have Mars moving into your 9th house for this T-square this week. So for you guys, Sag, with Saturn transiting your 3rd house, there has been something holding you back in communicating for some reason, for also receiving information, gaining ideas, gaining new perspectives, changing your belief systems about some type of thing, or just really being able to communicate clearly with people. With Saturn in the 3rd house, it's almost like, you have all this information and you really want to speak your mind, and you really want to start teaching people and talking to people and communicating with people about the things that you've learned. But you can't, for one reason or another, because Saturn is in your 3rd house, really stifling your ability either for other people to hear you or to understand you or to want to listen to you, or for you to just be able to do it, be able to get the words out properly, be able to express what you're thinking, and also be able to learn the new information. You may be, really trying to gain new understandings about things and learn something new, and for some reason you're being stifled, frustrated in that process, and it's really just limiting your growth in terms of expanding your mind in some type of way, or like I said, communicating the things that you've learned in some type of way. And with Uranus in the 6th, Uranus is really trying to get you to change your lifestyle, get you to change the work that you're doing on a daily basis, get you to change how you serve yourself and other people, change your diet, change your nutrition, change your exercise routines, change just what you're doing on a daily basis. And this also has an impact on your health. With Uranus in the 6th, there could be some strange things that have been going on with your health, or maybe you're just making some really, really abrupt out of nowhere lifestyle changes, or maybe things are happening in your life that are actually pushing you and forcing you to make these lifestyle changes, because Uranus in the 6th really wants to liberate you to be more authentic in the way that you're serving yourself, the way that you're taking care of yourself, and in turn the way that you can serve and care for other people, the way that you can do your daily work. It really has a lot to do with your day-to-day lifestyle. It really wants you to live a lifestyle that is more suited to your long-term fulfillment. With Uranus in the 6th house and with Saturn in the 3rd, this has a lot to do with limiting your communications right now. Maybe you're being sort of isolated from talking to people or communicating for some reason or another, and it's because Saturn and Uranus really want you to change your lifestyle, change what you're doing on a daily basis. So maybe, you are being restricted in your ability to communicate with others so that you can really refine what you're doing on a daily basis in your own life without the distraction of other people. Like that type of theme going on for Sagittarius right now. And with Mars coming into the 9th house, this actually isn't that bad of a placement either for this T-square. It may bring some type of conflict with teachers or with people that you learn from, or with people from like a foreign country or a foreign land or something like that. But more so, this is kind of giving you, lighting a fire under you, giving you motivation and really making you very passionate about gaining a higher understanding about something, about learning the truth. Sagittarius, you guys, in the 9th house rules the sign of Sagittarius. So you guys really might be very adamant about knowing the truth about something this week and willing to fight for it, really willing to fight for it, and being kind of aggressive and kind of contentious and kind of angry about anything that is prohibiting you from learning the truth. Or you might be feeling very angry about anything that is keeping you from gaining that information that you want to right now, or from communicating that information right now, or from understanding what you're trying to understand. Anyone that is trying to limit your beliefs, limit your truth, at this point in time is probably going to meet the Mars and Leo rage from the Sagittarius ascendant. So you guys are going to want to be careful with anger towards like teachers generally, or just anger to God also with the 9th house, feeling very like spiritually frustrated. Or also though, on the same sense, this gives you, like I said, a lot of motivation and a lot of energy to gain those higher understandings, to gain that wisdom, to gain that overall picture, to see things, to gain that truth, what you're looking for right now, Sagittarius. So with you guys, though, you're really just going to want to be careful also about being too aggressive and assertive in your opinions of what is true and of what is real. With Mars in the 9th, you may actually also be the one who is bringing conflict based on someone criticizing your truth, or someone not respecting your truth, or someone not respecting your beliefs. You're going to want to be careful about being overly aggressive to people that either you feel like are not teaching you properly, or that you feel like are not respecting your beliefs. That is most likely how this impulsive anger may play out for you guys, Sagittarius. So that is kind of just how this is working for you. You're going to want to watch it when it comes to just like impulsively expressing anger, or just wanting to kind of like clear the table when it comes to people that you've been learning from, or when it comes to, like I said, people whose belief systems are out of alignment with yours. You kind of want to not be too assertive about it, unless, of course, it's something that you've been needing to say, you've been needing to do for a long period of time, and, this week kind of puts you in the situation where you have no other choice. In that case, Uranus wants it done. But if it hasn't been well planned out, if it hasn't been strategized, if it hasn't been thought of ahead of time, you're going to want to kind of put the brakes on in terms of really going after, somebody that is not teaching you properly, or somebody who's being critical of your perceptions, your understandings, your beliefs. So that's what I have for you guys, Sagittarius. Let's move on and talk about the sign of Capricorn. So for you guys, Capricorns, you're in kind of a big time right now. You just had the full moon that happened in your sign. You guys have Saturn currently transiting through the 2nd house. Uranus currently transiting through the 5th house. So this means you guys have generally been experiencing some frustrations, some limitations, something that's been holding you back in terms of your finances. It's probably not been the funnest time for you guys, Capricorns, with Saturn in your 2nd house. You've probably been having money issues. You've probably been having personal security issues, resource issues with your own internal value, your own internal self-worth, and that manifesting is just like a lack of comfort, material security, again, resources, finances, projects that we're working on, and the things that we build to give us safety, security, and comfort in our lives, our home, stuff like that. with Saturn in the second being held back, restricted, limited, because for you guys, Cancers or Capricorns, it's very clear. Saturn wants you to reassess, reform the foundation of how you make your money, of how you feel secure, of what your connection to your own internal value is, and how that manifests in terms of the value that you have in your own life, in terms of finances, possessions, material things, comfort, security, and like your home and the projects that you work on, what you build, stuff like that being stifled, restricted, so that you can build a stronger baseline to take you further into the future in a more enduring, long-term, and fulfilling way in terms of how you're making your money and how you're securing and stabilizing your existence. Okay, and then you've had Uranus transiting the 5th house. This has really been wanting to open up your creative self-expression. It's been wanting to get you back into authentic alignment with the true, your inner child, and the true nature of your creative self-expression, of your joy, of your enthusiasm for life, of how you have fun, of how you play, of how you experience the freedom to be yourself. And also in terms of what you create and your children. There could be radical changes going on with your children right now, and these could also be impacting your finances. But ultimately, with you Capricorns, Uranus is trying to bring you back into alignment with your true creative potential so that you can make these changes to how you're making money. Uranus wants you to, or Saturn wants you to be making money in an authentic way that is true to who you are, and not just making money going after the job with the highest, paycheck because you want to make the most money. Like, that's not what this is about anymore, Capricorns. It's not about, just making money for the point of making money. The universe wants you to be making money in a way that is personally fulfilling for you. And that is what is going on with the dynamic that you have between Saturn and Uranus in the 2nd and the 5th. Now, for you guys, Capricorns, Uranus or Mars is coming into your 8th house. So for you guys, you may be boiling. This might cause you to have things deep underneath the surface, deep wounding, deep psychological issues, deep intertwinements with other people and joint resources, financial connections because of these intertwinements with other people, really making you mad, really causing conflict and contention. There could be, for you Capricorns, conflict with other people who you've had past relationships and joint finances for some type of reason with. It could be bringing up just this shadow side anger, shadow side rage, things from deep within the inner recesses of your psyche coming up and just boiling to the surface and just making you super impulsive about wanting to make changes, specifically relating to these deep psychological connections with other people. With Mars in the 8th house, Capricorns, you might have an urge to just not follow through on your financial commitments to other people at this point in time because of all of these issues that you're experiencing personally with your finances, and the fact that you just are going through so much in terms of your ability to actually experience happiness and joy in your life right now. You might be at the point in time where you're I am not making that payment to that person. I don't care about the commitment that I'm in. I'm over it. Or, and you're really going to want to watch that. You're really going to want to be careful with that and rethink that and make sure, that that's the right decision to make, because you don't want to be making impulsive decisions that can have long-term consequences based on things that, going on into the future that you didn't expect to happen when you made that decision. With the Saturn opposition, you really want to be careful about these decisions that you're making in terms of breaking things off with other people that you've been in these commitments with for a long period of time. Also, you might just have unexplained feelings of needing to break free for one reason or another. This is the 8th house is what we can't see. It's what's hidden. So you might not even be able to put your finger on where these feelings are coming from and why they are making you feel so just irritated and frustrated and upset and just wanting to break free from everything with Mars transiting your 8th house. But for you guys, like I said, unless you're really sure that this is the direction things need to go, you're going to want to hold off. You're going to want to wait till things cool down a little bit and then see if you still want to go in that direction. So So that is what I have for you guys Capricorns. Now let's talk about Aquarius. So for Aquarius, you guys have Saturn in your first house, you have Uranus transiting your fourth house, and Mars is coming into the seventh. So with you guys Aquarius, you've really been trying to make some personal changes to yourself, to the way that people perceive you, and you've been being really restricted and really limited for some reason or another in these personal changes to your identity that you've been trying to make. You've been trying to really basically become a different person, but you're being held back, you're being limited because Saturn wants you to be sure that you're going in the right direction and that this is the trajectory that you want to take your personal relationship to yourself and how your relationship to the world around you basically going forward. You've had Uranus transiting the fourth house, and this has been making major shakeups within your family. And I'm sure this has a lot to do with the changes that you are trying to make personally. It's like it is causing a lot of changes or a lot of just shocks and surprises and things happening really sporadically that you wouldn't have expected in terms of your family, where you come from, the mother, the parents, your own mothering, really trying to realign you with authenticity in this area of your life. And it has to do with the changes that you're trying to make to your personal presentation, to your personal self, your personal presence in the world that are being restricted and limited somehow. Now with Mars in the seventh house, this is definitely for you Aquarius. This is another fixed sign. This is a big energetic for you guys. For you Aquarius, you're going to want to watch being contentious, aggressive, angry, and just creating conflict in relationships, breaking off relationships, breaking off partnerships, and being real angry and heated and impulsive about it this week. This is probably not the week unless these changes have been needing to be made for a long period of time. If they haven't been needing to be made for a long period of time, this is not the week where you're going to want to do it because it can have disastrous long-term consequences going forward. But I mean, for you Aquarius, it really has to do with the fact that you are trying to make these personal changes. You're being limited, and right now you are just really pissed off about it. And anybody who is standing in your way in terms of relationships or people that you perceive standing in your way or limiting you from being able to make these changes to your personal identity might really be on the verge of getting your wrath this week. So you're really going to want to try to keep yourself under control, keep your emotions under control, especially in regards to relationships, especially in regards to other people, because like I said, if you don't, it could have some long-term unanticipated consequences that drag on into the future and create all types of relationship drama that you really just don't want to be involved in. So for you guys though, overall with Mars in the seventh house and Leo, relationship drama is the theme for the week for you guys Aquarius. This definitely is relating to you wanting to change yourself and feeling limited in some way and taking it out on the relationships. So like I said, unless this is a relationship change that you've been needing to make and resisting making, in that case, this would be the time to do it. Otherwise, don't do it right now. Let this week pass and then decide moving on through the rest of summer if this is a change that you really do want to follow through on. So that's what I have for you guys Aquarius, and I'm running out of time. I'm not going to have time to do Pisces in this video, so Pisces is going to get its very special own video. So if you like my video, please give me a thumbs up and share it with your friends, and I will see you guys back for my video of the day tomorrow.